Hey friends, I just wanted to pop on really quick and discuss something. So there's been a situation that I've been dealing with mainly a few months ago, but it's something that's still kind of ongoing and has brought me a lot of anger, resentment, and discomfort. And I want to talk about what that has taught me and how to move on from that. The other day, I had a thought go through my head about this situation, this person involved in the situation, and it was incredibly frustrating. Initially, I got angry. And then after my family member and my partner kind of talked me down and cooled me down about it a little bit, I got to sit and I started to feel sad, which is a good step. I naturally like to feel angry rather than sad when I'm feeling negative about things because to me, anger is more empowering than sadness. However, in this instance, sinking in, slowing down those feelings and really letting that sadness come out was something that allowed room and space for me to analyze exactly why this situation was bothering me at the time. Maybe you can relate to my situation. Maybe you're dealing with your own unique situation where you're feeling very similarly. Something that immediately helped me move through this was I went back to a mantra and a lesson that I had learned a long time ago. And the mantra is, what is this teaching me? What is this teaching me? I've also learned about concepts like non-duality, where everything is one and separation is an illusion. Things appear to us in the physical reality as separate, but we're actually not separate from anything. So really, when something arises in your life that makes you feel good or feel bad, it is teaching you something about you. It is teaching you something about your inner state. It is a reflection of you in some way. So going back to my situation, my example, there was someone that I was dealing with that I felt very upset with, and I had to sit with those emotions and realize the reason I felt upset, at least on the surface level, was I felt like I had been taken advantage of. I felt like I had been unappreciated. I felt like I had been put in harm's way. I felt like I had been stolen from, robbed essentially. I felt like I had been cast aside, had not had my concerns heard or addressed. I felt like somebody was willing to risk my safety, and I never even heard an apology for it. If anything, I felt like this person had actually increased hostility towards me instead of being open to try to resolve a concern, a safety concern that I had brought to them. This was very upsetting because my intention was to try to mend and solve the problem so nobody was hurt. Instead, I was met with a lot of resistance. I felt like the way things went down were very unfair to me. So I got to sit and feel those feelings about it because you want to feel the feelings so they can move through you. I was angry, then I was sad, then I was reflective. Next, I asked myself a little deeper question. What is this teaching you? Why are you feeling this way? I thought about it and I'm like, well, I value my safety. I care about myself. I respect my time. I respect when I bring safety concerns up so we can prevent things like that from happening. I really, really show up with a good attitude and a great work ethic, and I really care and respect myself. So I kept feeling this frustration because I'm like, why would that happen? Why would someone treat me like that if I don't see myself that way? And then I sort of realized the way I was feeling was reflecting more to me about how the other person was projecting onto me and not so much of how I saw myself or even really how I saw that other person. Everything I described before was true. I did feel angry and disgruntled for the way that I was treated in that situation. Sorry if I'm being really vague about it. I just don't feel like sharing specific relevant details right now, but I can still talk about my feelings, if that makes sense. And hopefully you can relate. I realized that the other person I was dealing with was feeling a lot of fear and inadequacy towards me, which I was initially a little blind to because I thought, how can this be? This other person I was dealing with was in more of a position of authority and power over me. I feel as though I was victimized. I don't understand how that person could feel like a victim when I was truly a victim in this instance. But I realized that's probably what it was. The person I was dealing with was jealous, they were insecure, they were afraid, they were stressed. They probably have a lot of problems going on that I won't mention in detail, but they probably have a lot of problems going on in their personal and professional life that I can only guess at. And I realized a lot of those emotions and those thoughts were being thrown and projected at me, even though I was not the source of those problems in that person's life. I just represented the things that they were too afraid to face and didn't want to face. So coming to that realization really helped me move through those uncomfortable emotions because at the end of the day, I need to move on with my life. At the end of the day, I want to choose peace over war. I don't want my brain to be taken up with space about resentment or hate towards anyone. I don't have any room in my heart to resent or hate people. It's just too much energy that's wasted. And I really was trying to move past this, even though, again, I truly do believe I was treated like absolute crap. Unfairly so. And there's nothing I could have said or done differently to act or respond to this situation at the time in any other way that could have been better than what I did. Genuinely. Like, even if I went back, there's nothing I could have done better. I really, I honestly really applauded myself for the amount of restraint and control that I exhibited in that interaction. Yeah, so it was so confusing at first, but then I realized I need to accept what happened and move on and not take it so personally. But then going deeper and realizing other people's projections on you can have an effect, and it can be confusing if that's how you feel or that's how they feel towards you, whether it's totally accurate or not. So that was something that helped me recently, and I wanted to share that because you deserve peace. You deserve happiness. You deserve to move through life and not have to carry the burdens of other people's failures on you, of other people's upset emotions. You deserve to be light. You deserve to have your heart full of love, not resentment, not bitterness, not hardness. And it's not your responsibility to carry other people's thoughts and feelings towards you, because the reality is sometimes you represent somebody's worst fears, or you represent everything that they failed at, that they wish they could be. And that's not your problem. Your job is to keep being you and to be your best self, and to remember to use grace and humility and forgiveness and mercy, but also hold your ground, stand up for yourself. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that chat, and I'll talk to you later.